Good evening, popular astronomers. It is Pop Astro Live. It's Friday night, and I'm feeling so fun and perky. It's our all-female crew special tonight. So, just while we're waiting for people to join the stream, let us play the rather mournful introduction music. How are you, popular astronomers? It's Friday night, my favourite night of the week, and my notes have just disappeared off the page. Where have they gone to? Excuse me, just while I resize about a million windows. I've been sat here for nearly an hour figuring out how to do all this. Where's my script gone? How are you this evening? Plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug, plug the mug. Are you drinking from your SPA mug this evening? We have got, look at across the bottom, you're not in the club if you ain't got a mug. So, Paul Sutherland's idea, this is, hopefully you can grab your SPA mug, put whatever beverage that you would like in it. Look at this. Look what we've got here. We have got, look, I figured out how to do show the products that we've got in the shop. We've got about, I don't know how many mugs there are, but there might be about 10 different ones with all different captions. This is my favorite one. I make my drinks the Milky Way. And if you spin it around, it's got a picture of a galaxy on it, although I can't remember what galaxy it is. I've got the basic entry-level mug. But it's still nice, isn't it? And it holds my water really well. The handle's never fallen off, and I always never miss my mouth with it. It's got quite a good tipping action as well, and it's suitable for left-handed and right-handed users. So that is fantastic. Oh my gosh, here come the comments. 13 already. Let's go to them. Oh, hello, everybody. Greetings from Kathy and the Ragdolls. I like this colour that my banners are tonight. They're like, I want lipstick that colour. Good evening. Hi. Mr. Salmon, hello, from the BIS, British Interplanetary Society. Good evening, Vicky and fellow Pop Astro buddies. That's what we like because we're all making a really tight, awesome friendship here. How long is it going to be before we're out of lockdown? I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of confusing on the news of Wales today. Hi, Lady Vicky. Girl Power Night, have a good show. Yeah, I do own 6 square inches of midge-infested Scottish Highland. Somewhere, I've got the deeds somewhere. I am a lady. I will have you know I'm a lady. Hello, James Little. Don't recognise your name. Maybe it's your first time with us. Hello to you in Edinburgh. Good evening from a wet and windy Wiltshire. I've got 3 SPA mugs. Michael, you are king of the mugs. Maybe a slightly dubious title. But thank you for all of these lovely comments. So I'm just going to check I've got my audio on the right setting. Bear with me. Audio, hopefully it's coming through my main microphone. Yes, it is. The Yeti Blue microphone, the podcaster's choice. Weighs a blooming ton. Don't drop this on your foot. Hi, Vicky. Nice to be here again. Madeline Dunn, the lady with the pussycat face. Yesterday, heard an interesting talk on Vera Rubin. What a clever lady. I know. Oh, we've got some clever ladies coming up for you in the next 1 hour's time. I'm definitely at the bottom of the pecking order for brains with this lot of awesome humans that I'm bringing your way. Sandra Grace, I know. How bad has the weather been over the past couple of days? I've not been out of the house since Tuesday morning. This is my first time out. I forgot what fresh air felt like. Hello, everybody. Okay, so you can go to popastro.com/shop, I think it might be, and you can take a look at all of our mugs, necklaces, scratchy card things, all sorts of brilliant stuff that we've got. So, right. What have you seen in the sky this week? Drop it into the comments. I don't know what the weather's been like where you are. I'm trying to think whether I've seen anything at all. I saw Mars next to Pleiades actually last week, which was good. Gave my telescope a good motor around the sky. I think it was clear on Saturday night, wasn't it? It might have been clear on Saturday night. If you were lucky enough to spot an occultation this week, you win 1,000,000 points. And if you're into occultations, we have got an occultation section at the back of our magazine, which comes out every 2 months. This is what makes the SPA so special. Our brilliant magazine. It's out every 2 months. And at the back, you're allowed to contribute. Isn't that great? We've got brilliant amateur pictures, amateur diagrams. We've got the section reports from our fantastic section directors. We've got meteors, solar. They found the meteor plumbed into the driveway. How exciting is that? I mean, they thought, didn't they say, they thought it looked like somebody had tipped up a disposable barbecue on their driveway. They could have, if that had been my mother, she would have been straight to that mound of soot and swept it up, and the carbonaceous chondrite would have never been seen again, except in landfill. Top magazine, I agree. It's great, isn't it, Kath? Oh, you photographed Hyades, Mars and Pleiades last night, looking gorgeous. Top magazine. Mars is a naughty boy. 7 sisters. He'll be knackered after that. He'll have to go to bed. That's why he sleeps all day. So, excellent. I'm glad that some of you have got mugs. The Zodiacal Light. Why didn't I get an alert on my phone? There needs to be a Zodiacal light alert app. It's something I've always wanted to see. It's pretty much on my top bucket list of seeing that amazing kind of shaft that goes. Is it at an angle? Just tell me, David, just give us a little description of what the Zodiacal Light is, please, so people know when to spot it. I thought it was visible at dawn in the spring, but I could be completely wrong there. Very awesome to see that. Yes, amazingly awesome. Okay, so benefits of being in the society. Well, you get this, you get the meetings, and possibly we might be one of the only societies that's got an interactive chat show of this flavour. Okay, so following International Women's Day, we have an all-female, it should be International Women's Week, really, shouldn't it, I think? We have an all-female crew on board this week, excluding, oh, where's he gone? He's such a pain. Where's he gone? There he is. He's somehow managed to get back in the bag. It's everybody's favorite little space sloth. It's Cosmo the Telescope Sloth. He's got a great little competition for you in a minute. So Cosmo is the only boy on the cast this evening, although Robin Schedule might be beaming us live images of his clear sky. With a bit of luck, we might get some constellations up. So I am joined by Claudia Antolini, astrophysicist, an Officer for Outreach and Public Engagement at Royal Holloway Physics Department. Then it's Eleni with space news, space weather and space traffic and travel. Her features are fantastic. You will learn so much in the 5 minutes that she's on. Then all hail Libby Jackson. She is going to be joining us with details of her amazing career in human spaceflight. Libby is younger than me and has achieved 1,000,000 times more in her life. Has made me realize I really need to get my skates on. She is Human Exploration Program Manager and has cool astronaut stories. We'll also learn about her beautifully illustrated book, Space Explorers. And finally, she's becoming a regular fixture on the show. We are going over to rising SPA Sonya Turkington with the telescope forecast. And Sonya is going to be giving a talk on the Met Office matrix warnings. Like they have like a yellow warning for snow, don't they? The yellow snow warning. Living here on Anglesey, where we are the 4th windiest place in the UK, I need to get to grips with that matrix. So we'll be seeing Sonya at around 9 o'clock. Oh, Robin, it's gone cloudy. Cosmo is crying. Evening in Northern Hemisphere and morning. Right. Zodiacal Light. I thought I read today that it wasn't until dawn. So I am going to get to see that. When's it next clear, I wonder? I don't know about the meteorite, but you know the guy whose drive it landed on. Is he a spacehead? Is he one of us, Colin Carter? That'd be really interesting to know that he was a spacehead. So I'm just resizing my windows. Yes, it's thought to be. Thank you, David, for this. You can just read that yourselves. You don't need me to spoon feed every word on the screen to you while I resize my windows. Read amongst yourselves. I'm just having a nightmare trying to tile me windows here. Come on. I want you to go short, smaller. Right. It's gone big. Are you reading? Oh, come on. Right. Okay. I think I've done it. Dark sky from angle C, you should see it. That makes a steep angle to. Oh, I need to see it. Need to see it. Jeff Stevens, thank you so much. You are one of our most active contributors, and when I've been looking back through the shows, I've seen that you have when I've been editing highlights of this show, your name keeps coming up on the screen on some of the clips that I've used. So thank you so much for all of your very well illuminated conversations and contributions. They are most appreciated. The zodiacal light appears from the sun's direction. I'm sure I saw it from Cheshire once. I am sure. No. The latest theory is that it's caused by dust from Mars. That is really impressive. That is so good. Right, let's have a medal with the banners. Pop Astro Live All Female Crow. Let's have a look. Let's pick a nice one. There we go. Join the society. There we go. Okay. Before we go over to Claudia, I'm sorry, I'm probably getting it wrong. I apologize. I'm so sorry. I am going to have Cosmo speak in my ear. Okay. Where has he been? We know he flies around the solar system in the weeks between the broadcast. He's been somewhere very far flung this time, haven't you, Cosmo? So what I'm going to do is ask you to not give me your answers until I've given you the 3 clues. Can you hold back? Because what I want to happen is for people to use their brain area, their mind grapes, as I once heard on a comedy show. Use your brain area to have a really good think about where this could be and start using your logic. If you answer too soon, then it's gone and people don't have to tax the brains with it. So this is a real brain teaser. There's no kudos for answering first, but you will get kudos for answering after I've read out the 3rd clue. So don't answer just yet. Where has Cosmo been? This is amazing. I've learned a lot today. Cosmo has taught me so much. Cosmo says it's our solar system's only known double planetary system. Did you know we had a double planetary system in the solar system? I did not. So that's number 1. Don't answer yet. Don't answer yet. You'll be struck off and you'll never be allowed to buy an SPA mug. Okay. So clue 1, it's our solar system's only known double planetary system. That blew my mind. Clue number 2, there is a canyon that is as deep as Everest is high, despite the body's very small size. So it's got a canyon that is as deep as Everest is high, despite its little modest size. And the final one, nearly get ready to send the answer. Jim Christie discovered this mysterious... Oh, sorry, you're meant to be telling me this. Sorry. It's like I'm reading your mind now. Jim Christie discovered that... Yeah, okay. Jim Christie... I got it the first time. Jim Christie discovered this place in 1978 and promised his wife he'd name it after her. Her name is Charlene. Where has Cosmo been to? Come on. Send in the answers now. Let's have a look. The comments are coming through. Mystic Meg. It's not Mystic Meg, no. Cosmo has not been seeing Mystic Meg. So it's the solar system's only known double planetary system. There's a canyon as deep as Everest is high, despite its tiny size. Jim Christie discovered this place in 1978 and promised his wife, Charlene, he'd name it after her. Hey, the correct answer coming through when the girls got it first. David Deegan is wrong. Diddly ding dong wrong. It's not Pluto. It's not Pluto. I shall humiliate people first. It's not Pluto. What were you thinking, Cosmo is saying? The first answer correctly on my screen is Charon. And it is Charon, apparently. At half the size of Pluto, Charon is the largest of Pluto's moons and the largest known satellite relative to its parent's body. The same surfaces of Charon and Pluto always face each other, a phenomenon known as mutual tidal locking. And he wanted to call it Charlene, but couldn't. So it is a soft sh and not a k. Charon, although the Greeks might say it slightly differently. So there we go. Thank you, everybody who contributed. We are going to go over to our first guest now, Neptune. Sorry, Mr. Salmon, you got it wrong. Well done to everybody who said Sharon. Did you enjoy your little airless trip to the Pluto system? Yes, he loved it. Right. Okay. We're going over to our first guest. It's hello.
Hi.
Hello. Is it Claudia or Claudia?
It's like the British skies. It's Claudia.
Oh, I'll never forget that now. That is so lovely. Thank you. How are you, Claudia?
I'm not too bad. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
It's really, really lovely to have you on. This is your second appearance, isn't it?
It is. Yes, indeed. I've been on, was it in August, I think?
Yeah, I think before the show was kind of in its current incarnation, I probably didn't have my fantastic backdrop back then.
No, you didn't. And I'm extremely jealous. And I'm going to want to know where you got it because I want
to know. This is right. This is the amazing truth. It's not a digital background. It is real. I just Googled star backgrounds and it came and it was very cheap. It was £13. And I think the reason why is because it's Southern Hemisphere and it's peppered with spelling mistakes.
Okay, we might redesign a better one then without spelling mistakes because those annoy me to the end of my wits, but I dig it.
Oh, but it is worth having. It's worth spending a couple of quid on a backdrop. You see, it's picked up like that and it just amps up your video, makes you look like a pro.
Yeah, I use as a backdrop my space bed sheets and they did look amazing, but a double duvet is not as easy to hang to the wall as one might think. It's quite heavy. Yeah. For a backdrop, I might definitely consider.
I'm starting to call this my cosmic microwave backdrop.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
No, well done. So how are you this wonderful evening then, Claudia?
Well, I'm doing all right. I have to say I didn't have too much of a chance to look at the sky recently because my horizon has been very cloudy. Because I don't have a car, I can't really drive too far in the countryside at the moment. So I know it's quite hard. But this doesn't mean that I didn't really enjoy reading about all this sort of amazingness of space news that have been out recently. So, you win some, you lose some.
Oh, well, thank you
today. So,
so you're going to talk about, amongst many awesome things, diversity in the space sector. Now, I know from my research in the past that I think in the actual space sector itself, it's about only 14% or 16% female, isn't it?
Well, there has been a very recent, very good survey by the Space Skills Alliance, which I warmly invite everybody to check out. They've been tweeting about their basic findings. So I would really advise people to look at those numbers. But if we look at astronauts, since we started flying people in space since the 60s, out of more than 560 astronauts, only 65 so far have been women. I know, right? So, hi, Steve. Thank you.
You know Steve, I take it.
No, I don't, but I appreciate that he made the effort to greet me in Italian.
Oh, that's lovely. He's from the British Interplanetary Society.
Yeah, no, we don't know each other, but thank you for this lovely greeting.
Well, there you go. Well, there's a good bit of networking. You and Steve obviously need to get to know each other and forge connections there.
Definitely. I'm always open to making new space friends.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit more then about the ESA selection process and what they're up to. While you say that, I'm just going to move my heater because I need it over here. I'm cold.
That's important. So ESA is about to open a new astronaut selection process. The last one had been in 2008, 2009. So more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. And out of that selection, Samantha Cristoforetti actually was selected. And she was the first Italian woman to ever get to the ISS. So that was extremely exciting. And so from the 31st of March, applications are going to be open again for the European Space Agency to become an astronaut. What is different about this time? women have been explicitly asked to apply. Like, I've never seen this before. I am legitimately super excited because, I mean, not only am I a space buff, not only am I a woman, but just everything about making space more of a place for everybody. You know, what is the motto of the SPA?
Yeah,
Stargazing
for everybody. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's exactly it. Like, for me, everything about breaking barriers and getting more people excited about space science, about space exploration. Yes, give me more. And ESA did give us more than that, because not only they're looking to expand their recruitment into gender diversity, for the first time, ESA is opening a Parastronaut feasibility project. So a Parastronaut will essentially be like a Paralympic athlete. They're actually learning a lot from the Paralympics on how to foster, how to look after, disabled people in space, how to look at physical requirements. So the first Parastronaut call is going to extend the astronaut selection process to people who either have a shorter leg condition, or who have a shorter limb deficiency, or who are of shorter stature. So people with certain physical differences are going to, for the first time in history, ESA is opening its doors to selecting disabled astronauts.
That's so beautiful.
Not only it's amazing, but it's overdue. And I was reading the press conference again, and I had never seen from a space agency a press conference that mentions diversity and inclusion so very strongly. And very often we make the point that, to tackle the next challenges in the 21st century, we need the best brains, which is true. And the best brains, we can only find them if we look at the wider diversity of people, right? But the other main thing that really comes across is that it's only fair. Like, we should do this. We have to do this, because it's just not acceptable in this day and age to say, you know what, you're just not like everybody else that we picked before, therefore we're going to say no. No, we want to challenge that. We want to change the way that we think. We want to change the way that we act. We want to build a fairer, more inclusive society on Earth and in space. And I am here for this. I really want to see what ESA gets up to. I really want to see how they implement this. And I really, really look forward to seeing the first ESA analog missions with disabled people on Earth, and then moving on to space as soon as possible.
Wow, your passion is making me want to cry. It's so beautiful. And I can tell that people in the chat room are well impressed with that as well. Your passion is just superb. Will you be applying?
Well, guess from my outfit, of course I will apply.
Will you? Are you applying?
Yeah, well, yes, I am applying. I mean, this could be the one chance in a lifetime that I get during my adult productive life to apply to be an astronaut. Of course I will. Not only I will, I have a rocket plushie to take me to space. So I'm ready, Isa. I'm here for you.
That is amazing. So, I am about as robust as a dandelion clock. So I don't think I would. Your stamina and physical fitness, you've just got to be so mighty to do this kind of thing. Are you tough and strong?
I am probably not. So that will probably be my main challenge. It's not enough that you apply, of course, to get you to space. Imagine how easy that would be. They have so many tests that you have to undertake. They have psychological tests, to make sure you don't kill anybody once you get on the ISS. They have to, to test your physical endurance. They have to check how you would work in a team, and you have to be pretty smart technically in order to be able to go to space and to perform all those tasks and experiments. So it's no mean feat. That's why not everybody gets to be an astronaut. But even just for the fun of trying, I will apply. But for me personally, my main goal in life as a professional and even as a person, my mission, what is my space mission is not necessarily that I make it to space, but that I encourage somebody else to make that leap. And potentially the people that I will encourage will be people that would never have dreamed of space before. And maybe my work, one little step at a time, will help to change things for more women to dream about space, for more disabled people to dream about space, for more LGBT plus people to make it to space, and so on and so forth. Because space is just so awesome. I cannot imagine any valid reason why that should not be a dream for everybody. And now it's the time. We want it. We want it to happen.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for empowering us all and inspiring us all. Just to change the subject slightly then, excitement to have a meteorite land on your driveway.
Wow, that was quite something. This past few weeks,
story. It's such a nice story to cut through all the gloom in the news.
It's an incredible story because, I know some of the people involved in this. So this is a network of people who are not only super keen about space, and yes, I will totally come back on the show and let you know how I'm getting on with my application. Thank you, Polly. It's very kind of you. So this is a group of people that studies meteorites and is really, really keen about meteorites. So what did they do? They put together a network in the UK of cameras looking at the sky, looking for fireballs. Now, I'm talking to the SPA, so everybody's going to know what fireballs are. But for the benefit of the very few that shouldn't know, a fireball is a super bright meteor, right? So a shooting star, but sometimes shooting stars just cross the upper layers of the atmosphere, or even if they enter the atmosphere, they dissolve. This one, it was super bright and it made it to Earth. So essentially what happened, there was this super bright fireball event. They had the system of tracking all around in the UK, and they studied where it was falling. So they reconstructed the trajectory, and they went in fields like in and around Cheltenham, Gloucester, all that area, all that lovely area in the west of England, looking at every single dog poop. No, I'm not joking, because, imagine a meteorite among the grass, that's sort of what it looks like, right? They checked every single dog present to make sure that they weren't missing a meteorite. And this is the first meteorite that has been found on UK ground since 1991.
Ooh, rare.
So yeah, definitely very rare. And carbonaceous chondrite meteorites are even rarer than that. Meteorites are not, you don't just find a rock from space in your garden every day, do you? No, we don't. We don't find that. But carbonaceous chondrites are even rarer, and with being rare comes being interesting. Of course, it does, because these kind of meteorites contain organic chemicals, so things that we think might be related to life. And the huge drawback of this kind of meteorites is that the atmosphere on Earth can damage them, can make them evaporate, can make them change. So you have to really get to the space rocks really, really, really soon. And that's exactly what this group of people did. So, I mean, it's already amazing to find a meteorite, but one thing is, you know, you walk around and you see a weird rock, and then you try it and it's very heavy. You know, why is this rock so dense? It's a weird one. Maybe you find out it's magnetic, and you speak to somebody and you find out it's a meteorite. Like, that is already amazing enough. These team of scientists watched it, like tracked it, and established where it was going to fall, and they went and retrieved it.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And that's exactly why they set up this network. And I feel like this is one of those amazing ways that science reminds us that we can only achieve huge things when we do it together. We can't, you know, nobody would have been able to do that by themselves. You needed a team of people that would observe the sky. You needed a team of people to constantly analyze that data. And you needed a team of people to go out socially distanced, because they did all of this while being socially distanced, and look in a field for every single piece of dog poop and make sure it wasn't a rock from space. And they found it. And they found this 300-gram piece of awesome rock from space. And my mind has been blown.
Wow, I actually didn't know all the full background of that story. Claudia, it's been so good to have you on. Please come on again in a few months, and if you're not too busy being an astronaut.
Well, I think until October 2022, I should be fine, because that's when they aim for now. That's the forecasted date to announce they selected class of astronauts. So I think my calendar is still pretty open until then. Can't promise anything for after then, of course, because, you know, might be busy with training and stuff. But before October 2022.
Paul just says it was a triumph for amateur astronomy because the cameras that photographed the fireballs were all run by amateurs. Amateurs rule. Yay!
Absolutely. Like, this is when more people doing little things can achieve more than a huge telescope, in my view. Because, you know, you can't have something huge just looking at the sky, looking for meteorites, because it's just not efficient. You just can't do that, right? Not in that way. But with my camera looking up and your camera looking up, you distribute it. It's like a cloud computing system, except it's a meteorite computing system. So it's pretty good, right?
That's well impressive. We'll have to get some of the people involved in that on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure with you, Claudia. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Vicky. It was great to be here tonight, and I really wish everybody... sorry, I've just seen a comment from Eleni that is really lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eleni.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to come back on the show really, really soon.
Ciao,
bye,
ciao.
bye.
Bye. Bye. Yes, enthusiasm. Infused with enthusiasm is what I was trying to say. What a wonderful talk. Fabulous talk, Sonia. Yes, it was. Good luck, Claudia, with your dream of becoming an astronaut. I don't like centrifuges. It's never going to happen. I went to Alton Towers once on my own. In fact, it was after the SPA meeting in Cambridge, and on the way back home, the night after the hotel, I went to Alton Towers first thing in the morning on a term time day. So I knew it was going to be empty. I'd basically been having recurring dreams about being trapped in Alton Towers, and I wanted to get rid of the dream by going. I'd not been for years. And I think because I'd gone on like in term time, it was completely deserted. I was on some of the rides on my own. It was apocalyptic. By 1 o'clock, I nearly had to be escorted from the place because I'd gone upside down, I think 20 times. And it turns out when you get into a ripe old age, you don't like going upside down. I've got the picture. I think I was wearing this headband. And the picture of me going into Alton Towers, like, yay, I'm going in on my own. I've got the place to myself. Heaven. And then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I took a picture of myself slumped by the railings outside with my head was like an apple. I was green and my head had swelled up from all of the inner ear action and all the fluid from, I think I went on the world's most upside down roller coaster, the Smiler, and that on its own goes upside down 14 times. And also, another thing how I know I don't ever want to be an astronaut is that I have lived in a caravan on and off for 6 years. And caravans are about the same dimension as the ISS, because I've been in a section of the ISS at the Leicester Space Museum. It's the same dimension of a kind of like steel tube. And I've been in a caravan all afternoon on a rainy day, and the cabin fever is instantaneous. And that is how I know I shall not waste anybody's time applying to be an astronaut. Don't like going upside down. And if you trap me in a caravan, I will go stir crazy. Okay, we have got Eleni coming up next. Here she comes. Oh, where's she gone? Here she's coming now. Dicky software again. Right. Oh, all these lovely ladies in my green room. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I think I just clicked the wrong thing momentarily, and it threw me out of the.
Are you going to apply to be an astronaut, Eleni?
I think I might, but if
Really?
I have competitors like Claudia, I just don't see how I could possibly ever be selected for the process.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, it only happens once in a lifetime. What the hell? I'll just put an application in. Yeah. I think your story about the Alton Towers is just hilarious. It reminded me of when I was very little and we were waiting for my mom to give birth to the sister after me. My dad took me to like a fair kind of thing, and there were these spinning teacups. And I really wanted to go in, and I loved them. And he's like a big bloke. He's not like a frail kind of person. He got out of this thing, and he just looked so miserable. I will never forget his face. It was epic.
Well, you know, as you get older, you know, little kids like to get dizzy, don't they? Do you remember you spin around when you're little?
Yeah.
And there was a question in New Scientist about like, why do little kids like to get dizzy? And your inner ear kind of seizes up and rebels against getting dizzy as you get older. You don't like to spin. So it's just a natural response to aging. Yeah.
Well, then I'm not aging because I still like spinning.
Well, you are definitely going to be an astronaut then. If you do the space news now, I'm going to look for the picture of you from Alton Towers.
Can you see my...
Yeah, there it is.
Perfect.
And then you just go full screen, and I'll remove myself, and I'm going to go and look for my picture because it's hilarious. My pumpkin
I really
head picture. Oh, hang on, gone. That is, I need to remove.
Can you still see everything?
Yeah, we've got you.
Perfect. All right. So I've got a couple of things to talk about today. The first one is about an atmosphere in the making, basically, and Hubble comes to the rescue again. I mean, I don't know how many times Hubble surprises me still, like everything that it does and the data that it offers to science. It's just incredible. So this is a planet in another one of these Gliese stars, which I really need to learn how to pronounce that properly. So this is Gliese 1132, and it's a small red dwarf, and we're looking at a planet orbiting that red dwarf. Now the system is 41 light years away from Earth, and it seems like it's got an atmosphere forming around it. Now, originally, it's thought to be a gas planet, just like Saturn and Jupiter, more specifically, more like Neptune. It was thought to be a sub-Neptune type of planet. And its first atmosphere, which comprised helium and hydrogen, was stripped away by the radiation from its star. Now, the core was exposed, and it happens to be roughly the same size to Earth. So at the moment, it's quite close to what we would call an Earth-like planet. And observations from Hubble have revealed a secondary atmosphere, which is very rich in hydrogen and methane and ammonia and hydrogen cyanide, which doesn't sound very pleasant, but what can you do? And the theory behind it is that the hydrogen from the first atmosphere was absorbed in the planet's molten surface, and it's now slowly been released back into the newly formed atmosphere via volcanic activity. And that's basically a means or a mechanism for us to understand how atmospheres form in terrestrial planets. So that's something pretty interesting, I think. Now, moving on from the very small to the very big, we have another black hole. I know people might think I'm obsessed with black holes, but they're very interesting. And they're full of secrets, and they're very mysterious. So this one is the most distant X-ray emitting jet-accompanied black hole discovered to date. So the source of the jet is this rapidly growing black hole, which is quite far from Earth, 12.7 billion light years away. And the interesting feature is, as you might have guessed, the jet. So data from Chandra, which is an X-ray observatory, reveals that this jet is about 160,000 light years long. And what's interesting about these early type black holes, supermassive black holes, is that the way they have managed to be so big at such an early time in the universe is still not understood. So jets could provide a way for the material that orbits the black hole's disk to actually lose some of its kinetic energy and fall into the black hole. It's important to understand at this point that not everything will by default fall into a black hole. It has to pass this thing called the event horizon to basically reach the point of no return and fall in the black hole. And to do that, it has to have below a certain amount of energy to fall in the black hole. And this beautiful analog that was part of the paper I read about that is the merry-go-round in the park, and that was brilliant. I hadn't thought of that before. So if a merry-go-round goes super fast in the playground, it's much harder for a child to approach. But if it slows down in some way, then it's easier for an incoming person to approach it. So this is kind of the same thing that happens here. And this whole jet mechanism could very well explain part of, or even the whole story on how black holes formed in the early universe. And finally, I've got some space news for those aurora hunters out there. There is a solar wind hitting the Earth tomorrow, and it could light up the Arctic sky over the weekend. So that's something to look forward to if you are high up to see. And a little bit of history, just a tiny bit. Tomorrow marks 32 years from the Great Quebec Blackout. Now, this was a massive coronal mass ejection that hit the Earth at 1989, and it brought down Quebec's power grid. And what I thought was the most interesting part was that there was a precursor to that at 1859 with the CME known as the Carrington event, and that hit the Earth around the Victorian era, and the telegraph wires in some cases caused sparks and set entire offices on fire. And I think it's incredible that we don't fully comprehend, or we forget sometimes how powerful our sun is. And these are like little reminders of how, we should be in awe of that star in our neighborhood. I just thought it was worth mentioning a tiny bit of history here. And that's all from me. I'm going to minimize that now.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope you got that picture because I'm really dying to see it.
Oh, I can't. My phone is updating and I can't get it. But I can do a really good impression of it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Honestly, I look like my head was decomposed for a couple of days and started to swell up. I will find it and I'll send it to you. It is so funny. My eyes are different sizes.
Boy.
Kath says, fantastic space news, Eleni. Thank you.
Thank you, Kath.
Oh, thanks. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Oh, hi. Oh, hang on a minute. The buttons are going crazy. Hi, that was so nice. Eleni's contributions are really bring a touch of, I don't know what, je ne sais quoi to the show, but it's, slightly more simultaneously down to earth and very far out there. And it's just so nice to see her lovely face. And, yes, it was good, isn't it? It's good. That's very good. The thanks are flooding in. Right. I've been in a meeting most of the day on the impacts of space weather on Earth. What did you learn, John? Tell us a good fact. This time, when was it? We've all dropped a year, haven't we? But this time, I went to a talk at Mac Astro in January or February before we had the lockdown. And it was about space weather. I can't remember the name of the professor now or where he was from, but he showed us this graph as what the government deemed to be the biggest threats to humanity. All over the world, they've got this pictogram graph. And on the pictograms, they had solar weather was kind of like number 3 or 4 in it. Number 4 for 10 years on the trot. They had little snowflakes for climate events. There was another pictogram, terrorism events. And at the top of each graph for like the past couple of decades was, what was it now? I can't remember what the logo was now. It wasn't a snowflake. Anyway, I can't remember what the logo was. Somebody said, what's that right at the top? And they went, that is a pandemic. And we all went, yeah, pandemic, schmandemic. And now look at the state of us all. We're all chewing our own door frames, waiting to get out. And that was only last year that I saw that presentation. So we are now going to go over to Libby Jackson in 3, 2, 1. Libby!
Hello! Hey! Hello!
Hi. How are you? It's lovely to see you. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but we've all just got so many exciting things to say.
It's been fabulous. I've been listening in, and I'm really glad you kept talking to everybody because they were brilliant, the guests before.
I know. Yeah.
Fantastic.
How are you going to outdo them? I don't know. I'm glad a feeling you're going to try, though.
We'll just have a nice chat and see where we go. I mean, you've been covering all the fun, great news stories lately. The meteorites and the astronaut call, all sorts. Loads going on.
So tell us a little bit about who you are then, Libby.
Who am I? I'm Libby Jackson. And I sort of have 2 hats. I have been involved in human spaceflight for, like 3 years after I graduated. So getting on for 2 decades now. And that's led me to all sorts of interesting places. So I have worked in mission control for the International Space Station. I was a flight controller and a flight director there. Today I'm at the UK Space Agency. That's my day job where I look after human exploration. But all of that sort of career and everything that I've done and have always love sharing stories and talking to people. I've also put into a couple of books, so I'm even a writer these days in my spare time, writing books for children, little ones and big ones, about astronauts, what they get up to, the people who are involved in getting astronauts into space.
Are you having a drink under the table there? I don't quite understand that comment. Brenda, what do you mean? I'm flummoxed by that quote, but maybe you know what he means.
No. I missed the comment. I'm too busy staring into the camera because, of course, I want to stare at the camera so you can all see me. And so I'm not reading what's down the bottom. What are we going on about? The cork has popped on the champagne.
What could that be in reference to?
Well, I know all the exciting things that are going on at the minute.
That's
brilliant. And because and I guess you've already covered it, but we've had the Perseverance landing. We're getting all excited about Mars, and there's the Rosalind Franklin rover going in a couple of years' time. It's like humans in space and exploration. There's so much going on at the minute. It's so exciting.
Yeah, and I think somehow, I don't know how this has happened, but it's looking like I might be running one of the UK branches of the Space Tourism Society.
So much to do. And this is, times really are changing. I was doing a schools talk this afternoon. I love talking to kids. And I mean it. When I talk to the young people, I go, you can start saving up now and go into space. And they really can. They will be able to. They might not all be heading off to the space station. But when I was about 6, I would 6 or 7 at school, I'd see Concorde fly overhead every night because we lived on the flight path, and so every night at 5:05, it would fly over. And I had this dream that one day I'd save up all that money and I'd take a flight on Concorde, and that's never happened. But I think for little ones today, going into space is probably as achievable as that once in a lifetime trip on Concorde was.
Ooh, that's a great way of putting it. Libby, will you be applying to be an astronaut?
That's a good question. I'm talking to lots and lots of people who are. I haven't yet decided. Let's leave it at that. Watch this space. There's I know very well what that process involves, and I know very well what they're looking for, and I know where my flaws aren't. But there was a great quote from Samantha Cristoforetti in the European Space Agency's press conference. She said, "Don't let you decide, let ESA decide." And I thought that was great. Don't start doing yourself down. Astronauts come from all sorts of different places, different backgrounds. And so that's good food for thought there, really.
Wow. Okay. Right now, even I'm inspired now, despite my hatred.
What have you got to lose? These opportunities don't come around very often. And yes, there will be thousands and thousands of people from all across Europe applying. And it's the chances are slim. But if you look at it even as a journey in itself, which is probably what I would look at it as, and say, just to see what happens and go through it. Things to learn. There's always things to learn.
The judges are going to really struggle to. Right. Once upon a time, when I worked in a radio station, I helped judge a talent show in a small shopping centre. Right. And the quality of the talent, it was like a very mini X Factor. And the quality of the talent, even at that level, it was so difficult to pick who should go through to the next round. So good luck to whoever's, maybe you might end up on the qualifying, on the judging panel, Libby.
I got on the judging panel for the semi-final of, do you see Astronauts? Have You Got What It Takes? There was a BBC show.
Beautiful programme with our beloved Tim Gregory.
Yeah. And so I interviewed Tim and Susie and Kerry and the semi-finalists, and I was on the panel and genuinely, looking at them in the eye and going, "Have you got what it takes?" And it was great fun because I asked them some hard questions and gave it was Chris Hadfield, wasn't it, and Kevin Fong and Ia Whiteley, and I gave them my advice and they followed it. And we were harsh. We were looking for, have you got that mystery thing? So that was a good show. That
maybe one day I'll do a live video from space, Libby. But until then,
well, you could certainly do a live video with space. That's something you can definitely.
Oh, that's better. That's more like it. That's so much easier.
After everything you can say about centrifuge and things, don't put yourself through it. Just talk to them up there.
Yeah, Libby, tell us how you ended up career path for people looking to get into a job like you.
So I always liked space. The secret to what I did was I did things I enjoyed. I didn't let people who sort of, said, "What are you doing physics and maths for? You're a girl." Didn't listen to them. Went off and did a physics degree, which I didn't really enjoy. That was another big thing. So I went and did a master's degree in space engineering at Cranfield University, which was a great degree. My big passion was always operations, mission control. Devoured the stories of the astronauts in the Apollo times, which when I was a kid felt like the ancient history. Now I was born 9 years after the last person walked on the moon. So, when now I'm in my middle years, 9 years doesn't seem like quite such ancient history, but to a little person it does. Anyways, I stuck on my CV, I want to work in mission control. And I didn't actually expect anyone to pay any attention to that. But they did. Turned out a graduate scheme I was applying for wanted people to help put a mission control center together. And I got into working in mission control. And I went from there to then Germany, where I worked on the International Space Station and fulfilled my dream of being involved in mission control. So that was how I got into it. I always think one of the big things that surprise people about working in mission control is how young it is. It's really a job for young people, graduates. But, if you think it's brilliant, go and do it. It is such a fun thing to do. In my opinion, the best job there is going. And it was great. And then I've gone from there now to the UK Space Agency and, getting involved in management and doing all kinds of things there.
Okay, Libby, thank you. You just left us all slightly wild there. Let's see what this comment says. I would love to be an astronaut, my lifelong dream, but my age and a touch of... Oh, yeah, you do get vertigo. That's why he couldn't be on a couple of weeks ago. Poor Steve.
Oh, that's... But, there are other ways and other things. And, still, if I still think everyone start saving up money. And it's... I did it. I was lucky enough to go on a parabolic flight and experience weightlessness, and that was good fun.
Oh, I bet that was so nice. Tell us, how did that feel at that moment of, oh? So
it really is. You get in the plane. I should say I was helping with an experiment. That's how this all happened. But you get on the plane, and there's such a kind of, I don't like things that I don't know what's going to happen. You were talking about roller coasters. I love roller coasters, but I hate going on roller coasters for the first time where I don't know what's around the corner. I like to be trained. I like to know what to expect.
Okay.
But they you knew what to expect. You still go, oh, I'm in a plane that's going to, voluntarily go up like this and then plunge back down towards the earth. So you get this period of weightlessness. So you sit there quite nervous and nerve-wracking. You've all had anti-sickness drugs to help with that vertigo and the sickness. So you what's going on? And they count you down, and first of all the plane pulls up and you pull 2G because you go
I feel sick already.
Steep upwards. And then the captain is wonderful. It's all in French because you fly out of Bordeaux, and this wonderful soothing accent goes 3, 2, 1 injection. And at that point you go, wait, and your stomach lifts that same way. When you go over a sort of humpback bridge or over the top of a roller coaster, and you feel that sort of stomach lifting, and you feel that, and then you just float. And it's like that feeling when you're just floating in a pool and you can shut your eyes and it's all very zen, and it's just almost peaceful and lovely, and it feels so natural. And so much fun. I completely get why astronauts go, I want to be weightless all the time. It was great. And you only get it for 20 seconds, but everybody smiles. And I would tell you the thing, that very first time, there is just this collective noise across the aircraft as everyone goes, oh, wow. And so there's this noise of excitement and everyone feeling the same thing at the same time. So it's
how many loops do you do then?
31.
31, that's loads.
Yeah. So you're up there for a couple of hours. It's 20 seconds at a time. The one is called Parabola 0, where they just check it out, and then you get 3 lots of 10 to go and do various experiments and things like that.
What kind of experiment were you doing that entailed being weightless 20 times, 30 times?
I was helping a team from the University of Brighton who were looking at heat pipes. So sort of physical engineering things that use fluid to transfer heat from one place to another. They're used all over the place in satellites and even computers. Little inside your boards, you've got things that are moving heat from one place to the other. And someone's going to tell me off for the terrible physics I've got here. But they were using capillary action. So you ever stuck a straw in and you see the little meniscus on the side of the edges just raise up that little bit? That's capillary action.
Okay.
And I love this. It's one of the great reasons why I talk about gravity and the stuff that you can do when you take gravity out of the equation, because the capillary action formula has got all over G on the bottom of it. So you take the gravitational force down to 0, and your capillary action, rather than just going a little bit up the side of your straw because it's all being forced down by gravity, suddenly would go up to infinity. And they're using this in gravity to try in microgravity to make these heat pipes that use capillary action, big, thick pipes, because there's no limit on them. And at that point, I'm afraid my physics runs out. But that's what it's doing.
And did the experiment a success?
They're still going on. It's all part of developing an experiment that's going to go to the International Space Station. So that's due to fly in a few years' time and is currently being developed. But hopefully, once they've done the experiment on the space station and they've learned more about it, we'll see the technology improve and crystallize and then become something that we can put on spacecraft all over the place. Because you can, once you've got this working, these heat pipes can be flexible, I think. So you can have them bend and twist, and that would be really useful for designing spacecraft. And then probably you'd start seeing it back here down on Earth as well. It's the way it's why we get involved in space. Always one of the reasons. If you design something to go into space, you end up looking at the problem in a completely different way, in ways we'd never thought of, and invariably some of that ends up sort of what we call it spinning out, ends up helping stuff that we all use every day on Earth.
Wow, Libby. Okay, I'm going to ask you to take your executive space hat off now and put on your lovely book hat now.
Book hat, yes.
Book hat. Tell us about your book.
All right, I'm going to flash this one in front of you because this is the latest one. So this is Space Explorers. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. I wrote it, but it didn't do the pictures, and I think the pictures are just as good as the writing. I'm not going to do myself down. But it is 25 stories that I know from my time from years of reading these stories since I was 7. But ones that not everybody might know. You may out there, and I've written them in a way for young children to read as bedtime stories. So you can sort of read a chapter at a time. And I wanted to write it, and I have written it, so that it takes you right back, first of all, to the beginning of humans going into space, of Yuri Gagarin sitting on top of that rocket, no one knowing what was going to happen to him when he got up there. And it takes you through all the way through things like the story of Apollo 8 and the Earthrise photographs and how the astronauts went to the moon for Christmas. Apollo 11. Did you know that Neil and Buzz nearly didn't make it home, and it was only because of a felt tip pen? They are the sort of heroes and famous people we know about today. Talk about the story of Michael Foale and how he saved the Mir space station with his knowledge of the stars and his thumb, working out which way the Mir space station was pointing after the crash. How the space station, the International Space Station, got fixed by toothbrushes in there. Loads of stories like that to me, just the excitement and the great things that happen out there. Hopefully to get young people, excited by space and the stars and, looking out at night and wondering what's happening. And
let's have a flash of the book. We'll put you full screen, Libby, and do some.
All right, there you go. There it is. Space Explorers. It's all shiny. See, it's got the silver bit. We go this way. So that was me, Libby Jackson. Leonard Dupont was the illustrator, and it's out now in hardback. It's coming out in paperback, I believe, later this year.
Let's see some of the illostrations inside it. Feel free to give some close-up.
You're the professional. And it's so hard to do. Let's. God, this is one of the. I love that one. Look at that. That's Neil and Buzz on the moon. It's a big thing for me about this book. It's a storybook. It's for children, but it's all completely true. There's Sunny and Aki out doing a spacewalk. It was so important to me that the stories were accurate. I've gone through mission logs. I've read all the autobiographies, delved into all the different archives. It's one of the great things about space, I think, is how many records there are out there. I'm trying to find some more pictures. That one.
That's amazing. What gorgeous illustration.
This is a great story. All about how there was another telescope in space, we think, maybe. And the story of how, well, you should read it, but how these secret spy telescopes that were like Hubble had to try and look at the shuttle to see if the heat shields were okay. This is long before Columbia and all the tragicness of that and what we learned. That's a great story just to go and read. The story from that, I've got it up there. It's by Roland White called Into the Black, which is the full story of it. A great book. Really shout out to that. And that's, I have to say that. I wrote this book, but this is just, it builds on so many other stories and great books that are out there that I need to have a book list somewhere of all the things that go into that too, that you can also read.
Oh, Libby, that book. Funnily enough, this afternoon, well, it's not funnily enough at all. One time when I got made redundant, I spent 10 months off trying to write a book. And I gave up after 10 months because the book just fractalized into terribleness. And I found it today and I read it for the first time in about 12 years and it was diabolical. So kudos to you for writing such a wonderful book and sticking at it. It's hard. I think writing a book was too hard for me. It had its ups and downs and challenges, and trying to do it with a full-time job. And I know people have said to me, "Oh, all this time in lockdown could have written another one." I'm spending way too much time staring at computer screens at the minute to even begin to think about sort of sitting down and typing. Maybe I should start writing books. But I also, just because we're there, I'll give a shout out to this one as well, because that was the first one, and that's all about. Let's have a look. Hold that close. Hang on.
Talking about women and all of it. This was a galaxy of her own. Amazing stories of women in space. This was illustrated by students at the London College of Communications, and some of the illustrations are beautiful. In fact, all of them are stunning, are gorgeous, but some of them I really in particular love. And it's just various people, women, all of the women, but who are involved in human spaceflight in all sorts of different roles. And again, the stories of their lives and how they got through. Challenging things, people saying to them, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. Definitely a theme of different points in history of people kind of going, what are you doing? And they ignored it and carried on. And I loved this book for not just saying to people, it's not just a man's world in space. It's open to everybody. And it really is. And it is open to everybody. It's just some people, our media is really bad sometimes at perpetuating these sorts of things. But also that there are so many different roles and different ways in the space industry. And to me, that is so important. We've spent all this time talking about astronauts and, how everyone wants to apply to be an astronaut. That's fantastic. And everyone, who wants to should. But only a handful of people get to be astronauts. And there are all these other amazing, amazing roles in the space industry, not just in human spaceflight, but in everything. I mean, we all rely on space every single day. We check the weather, we use our sat nav, we pay for things, we watch that live stream, hopefully one day from around the other side of the world. Maybe the Olympics are going to go ahead this summer. It's all space. You were talking earlier about the risk in space debris. Someone's got to track all of that stuff. There are all these jobs. There are, we have accountants and lawyers and journalists and podcasters and all these things. And so the big, big message, not just in my books, but in work and always, is this: come work in the space industry. If it's an interest and a passion, there's a way in, no matter your age, no matter what you are, your skills, there's a skill set for you. And goodness knows the industry is growing. Space is getting really, really sort of noticed now, and is becoming really, really important because we all use it every day, and because we all love talking about it, because it's just so exciting and inspirational. And so, this is just always the message. Don't be afraid. Don't think it's not for you. You asked me about my career and what I did. I just did things I enjoyed. And I just looked out for opportunities, and that's what you can all do.
Yeah. Oh, Libby, thank you so much. You've been such a nice guest. It's been really refreshing to have the ladies on tonight.
Thank you so much, Vicky, for having me on, and hello, and thank you to everybody out there. I'm sorry I've waffled on as well. And
no, it's good. It's good. And Kath has bought a book, so she's bought you a book. So if you want to slip me a $5 commission for that, that'd be lovely.
I hope you enjoy it, Kath, and thank you for getting it. Very kind. It's I hope you enjoy it. There's an audio book of A Galaxy of Her Own, and there's an audio book of Space Explorers too coming as well. The Galaxy of Her Own one's called Galaxy Girls, which is the US title, but the audio book is it's the same, really. So it's
Libby, just before I go, thank you so much. Claudia has said have some ladies, have more ladies from now on. When I send the follow-up email to this, it'd be amazing if you could recommend a handful of ladies that I could interview. Pay it forward.
Oh God, yes, absolutely, yes, definitely. And I can just see in the comments, Ged Mack has said that Lucy Hawkins written some brilliant books. She has. They're gorgeous. And worked with Lucy on some of our projects that we've done at work in the past. And they are some wonderful, wonderful books.
Oh, brilliant. It has been such a pleasure to have you on. Very refreshing. I'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Libby Jackson, everybody. Oh, I always salute with my wrong hand. That's another reason I'll never go to space. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to run out of here and see if my phone is updated. And if it is, I'll be able to find that Alton Towers picture for you. Talk amongst yourselves. Look at my backdrop. Can you spot the spelling mistakes on it? I'm going to go and get my phone. DVD. Oh, no, it's not going to do it. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck on the update. I'm updating my old phone so I can use my Celestron StarSense app, but look, it's stuck. And you're not going to see the picture of me with my massive pumpkin head after the Alton Towers incident with the centrifugal issues. Right, we are now going to go over. Let's have a look. Vicky, don't know what you got yourself into. You'll get tons of recommendations from. Please do that. It has been a bit weighted heavily on the male side recently on Pop Astro, and I want this to be a diverse show that includes everybody and anybody, providing they can talk enthusiastically and entertainingly about space. Show us a pic next time. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll post it. I'll find it. Right now, we are going to go over to my little protege. It's Sonya Turkington. Are you ready to come across, Sonya?
Hello.
Oh, how are you, Sonya?
I'm very well, thank you. How is everybody? I can't believe it's Friday again.
Oh, you know what? You've been so excited about coming on this show. I love having you on.
I know. It's a time I can actually have an excuse to put my makeup on and do my lippy again.
Yeah, I've got 2 coats of lipstick on tonight. That's good going.
And we have Space Monkeys. He's still not got a name. So I've decided, everyone put the comments below what name you would like to name him. I will then pick out a name out of a hat or something for next week, and we shall name him live next Friday.
We definitely had Ham, didn't we? The first chimp in space. That was definitely
We had Ham, yes. I think there was Castor as well.
Oh, yeah.
We had Castor.
I went looking for Gemini as a result of that. Gemini's really quite faint, actually. It's quite hard to see their little stick bodies. Right, so you are our new resident weather presenter who does...
I am.
Does the...
I think it's the only society as well that has a weather presenter.
Well, we're the only society that does a lot of amazing things.
Yes, exactly.
So how's the weather? Are you going to do as a weather forecast for this weekend?
I am. Firstly, if you've got that picture to show up, Vicky.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me have a think now. I need to do screen share, stop screen share, and then go share again. Share screen and Chrome tab and Sonya Google Slides. Maybe this might come on now. Can you see that?
Oh, there we go. Fantastic. So it's been absolutely horrific couple of days, hasn't it, really? We've had high winds, we've had intense rain. But one thing I saw on the weather last night when he was forecasting it, he actually mentioned of it actually not being named. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but this storm didn't have a name. And it was really interesting of why. And it's all based on the Met Office. They use what's called a warning impact matrix. So it all depends on the likelihood and the high impacts from the yellow warning, the amber warning, the red warnings. And so we'll start with the yellow warning. So that's just like low impact, so just not much disruption, just a few disruption, travel and that in place. So my eyes are all over the place with how much notes I've got at the moment. And so then we go into amber warnings. That's like you get your potential disruption to your daily plans, travel delays, road and rail closures, risk of power cuts and potential risk to life and property. And then we go to the red warnings, which is, you know, dangerous, weather expected, you know, you could die from it, you know, very high disruption to travel, energy supplies, and possible widespread damage to property and infrastructure. And then the storms are named when the triggers from an amber or the red warning determines how much impact that has. So if you look at the severe warning for potential events, so for example, you might have 80 miles an hour winds in Ireland, but we would have to have that over here for it to go maybe to an amber warning. But they do figure in some factors as well. So all determines, they look at the seasons, because spring and summer, we may not have the storms that we have in autumn and winter and the impacts that they do. They also look at the location and the population. Is it going to affect everybody? So to have a named storm, the impact of amber or the red warning has to impact the whole of the country and not just one area. And that's how this storm didn't have a name, because it's not really impacting everybody. It's got to impact everybody to actually be given a name. And then what also is interesting as well, if you Google on the Met Office or on Twitter, they actually ask members of the public as well. And you actually put a name forward, and they put all the names, you know, on a piece of paper, and they actually look at what names they want to name it. So they don't name those. The Met Office don't actually name the storms. It's actually the members of the public that actually name the storms themselves.
But they've got horrible names, like Kevin. No, sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry to all the Kevins in the universe, but they kind of have like really dreary and weird names. There's never anything like modern, like Beyonce.
I know, and it's not actually the Met Office that named them. It's actually public themselves that put those names forward. And the Met Office is like, oh, I like that. We'll name it, you know, after that. Whoever's put the name forward for it.
Okay. So, yes, Kath, your screen keeps freezing. I hope it's your connection. I hope to God my screen isn't freezing. I hope this is a good connection. So it's you only get the only name of storm if it impacts the whole of the country, because this
impacts the whole population, because with the storm that we had, it was most of the western side that got the high winds, and Scotland, where the east of the southeast of the country didn't really get much of an impact. So that's why they didn't name it. It's got to have a high impact on literally everybody. They look at the areas, they look at the high population in those areas, and they also look, as I said, they look at the seasons. So in spring and summer, you're not likely to get a named storm compared to autumn and winter, when we get the potentially disruptive storms in those seasons.
Maybe because we've been absolutely battered by the storm, and it really did feel like it should have a name here on Anglesey. And I just wondered if it's going to have, if that same storm had have happened in the south, down south somewhere, I bet it would have had a name.
It probably would have done, isn't it? It's that northern, southern. Nothing against the southerners. It's that northern and southern line, isn't it, between us?
Yeah, the north-south divide applies for storms as well, I should imagine.
Yes. So, let's get on to. Shall we do the weekend weather?
Yeah,
let's see what happened this weekend weather and storms. So we've had this unnamed storm now. It's gone over. I don't know if you can hear background noise. I'm under the glass roof, absolutely chucking it down. It really makes a horrible noise, and it is really, really off-putting. So the jet stream, it's still over us at the moment. This is why we've got in this horrible weather that we've had. As I go into the jet stream now, look at the forecast, it is slightly going above us. We are looking at some really good weather next week. It's looking like
good weather.
Midweek next week, we'll have the showers and that during the day, but it's going to clear up nicely at night time for us. So by Wednesday, the jet stream will be above us. And then by the end of next week, it's looking like it'll be back over us again. And so when I look at the surface pressure, so we've got a low pressure now system that's coming in. That's going to be what's going to cause the showers tomorrow, hail, rain, thunder, lightning. We could get it all out we have today, and even some snow in places, which I wasn't expecting that. And then by Sunday we get a nice mild air pressure coming in. Those isobars getting wider again, giving us some nice weather on Sunday. And then if I go on to the long range forecast, so Saturday we're going to get the showers mainly in the north, though the south they're going to slightly miss them until mid-afternoon. They'll come in again, and then by 9 o'clock the Midlands, the south, they could see clear skies. Anglesey, 9 o'clock, you could expect a bit of a rain shower, I'm afraid, Vicky.
And
then Sunday it's looking dry. 3 o'clock showers, rain will come in, it will go across though, and then by Sunday around 9 o'clock we can expect partly cloudy skies. Maybe the northwest and South Wales, Cardiff area can expect some rain. And then going into Monday, it's looking like a dry day on Monday. The night time does look good. It does look clear skies, Midlands, a little cloudy in the northwest and Anglesey. And then by midnight to Tuesday morning, we can expect some rain again, clearing to the east, leaving some clear skies. Wednesday night, west is looking best for us. And then the east, 6 o'clock to midnight, it's looking a bit dreary on the east coast, going down to the south coast. Wednesday, looking potentially good on Wednesday night. We have no rain in the picture. It's looking like it's going to be clear, partly cloudy. Again, the south coast, the southwest looking better, and the northwest partly cloudy skies. And then the longest range going up to Thursday, it's going to be cloudy most of the afternoon. Hopefully that should then clear and should give us some nice clear skies then for Thursday night. However, as always, I do keep an eye on these every morning. I will look at the radars, and if it does look good, I will give you a forecast.
Oh, thank you so much, Sonia. Now I know you. Sandra has suggested the monkey be called Meteor. I think that's a great name.
Oh, that is. What do you think? He'll think about it.
Yeah.
I have animals talking to me now. What are you doing to me, Vicky?
It's contagious. It's contagious. Vernon says, my new telescope arrives Wednesday. Could you please arrange fine weather over West Scotland?
Oh, let's have a look at Scotland. Shall I look at Scotland for you? So let's go into long range forecast for Wednesday. Which part of Scotland?
West
Scotland. Oh, it does look Wednesday west. So let's have a look. So 6 o'clock, West Scotland actually looking good at the moment. He's actually got a good chance.
Oh, that's
yes, and Thursday's looking good as well for West Scotland. So the end of next week, so the beginning of next week doesn't look too good for Scotland, but then you get the rear end of next week, Wednesday, Thursday. It's looking pretty good for West Scotland.
Well, you know what, Sonia, thank you. And I know, just give us I'm just going to see, my phone is updated. I might be able to find the Alton Towers picture. Give us a little bit of background on how you harvest these weather forecasts, because you're not just reading off the BBC weather forecast. You are going to great efforts.
I have so many. I am so thankful Peter's working from home, because I am using his work computer. I have so many charts up. I have the Met Office, so I'm reading the surface pressure charts, the high and lows that come and go, the isobars, the tightly packed, the widening of them. I am looking at the jet stream forecast. I have about 5 or 6 tabs open to try and determine what's going to happen in the clear skies at night.
Oh, Sonia, you know what? I'm so proud of you, because this time, 2 weeks ago, and you were so terrified of even just going on camera, weren't you?
I was, and now I can't wait to come on and to chat to everybody. It's so nice, and it's so lovely as well to see the comments of what they say. And as these go on, I will be doing a lot more talks. So we're coming to April soon, and what does April bring? April showers. So I'll be doing different talks of how the weather comes about, how different seasons and happen and stuff like that. Just to I don't want to just do a forecast. I want to bring something exciting, something exotic to everybody.
Well, you're a complete natural on the camera, Sonia, and we'll chat during the week. And it was lovely. And I'm personally really like Meteor the monkey.
Meteor the monkey. We shall put that in a hat. I might just slip my hand in there and pick up Meteor. And
Vernon says you are a star.
Thank you, Vernon. Thank you.
The adulation. They love you already, Sonia. Right, okay. Oh, yes. See you soon. Bye. Bye. Oh, sorry, cut her off in a prime then. Didn't mean to do that. What an amazing show. These shows are now running to an hour and a half. So that's not bad, is it? Now, could somebody from the society please tell me when we had the Cambridge Expo? Because I've got like 40,000 pictures on my phone and I can scroll through them by month. And if I manage to find them, I'm sure got the months here. I'm sure I will be able to find the picture of me and my pumpkin head. When would it have been? It was what month of what year did I come to Cambridge for the thing? I can't remember whether it was 2019 or March 2019. Right, I'm on it. April. Well done, Kath. Thank you. March. Here it is. Right, Cambridge University. You're probably all going to be very underwhelmed by it now. There's me at the Space Museum. And then okay, here's me going into Alton Towers. Can you see they've got the old corkscrew? It's a bit reflective there. That is me pre-Alton Towers, all bright and chipper. Oh, and then oh, I feel sick just looking at it. Look at the state of me. That is what happens when a 40-year-old girl goes upside down 20 times before lunchtime. Look, you can see the fluid retention around my chops, and look how it's like made my eyes squint. And all of the roller coasters were empty as well. I was like one of the only people on the roller coasters. Yeah, the corkscrew was good, wasn't it? Look, it's aged me 10 years going to Alton Towers for an afternoon. Thank you, Polly, for your... This is why I'm not going to be an astronaut, because green. I had to lie down and sleep in the car. It was so bad. Look at the So, when you see the centrifuges, the James Bond centrifuge going round and round, that is why I'm not going to be an astronaut. Oh, well, I've got to put that on. I love Vicky. Thank you, Douglas Pilkington. I love me too. More like 20. Yes. Right, popular astronomers. It's been a really, really, really excellent show tonight. They just keep getting better. And you know what makes it good? You do. In the chat room with all of your banter. I nearly said bants. Must never say bants. Must never say it. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. I know Sonia. When we first messaged, she said, I'm terrified of going on camera, and now she's giving double kisses. She's that good. I know. Do you know what? I built it up so much. I'm just going to show the picture again. I'll show you the before. Chipper going into Alton Towers. Where's it gone? Oh, I don't know how to get it now. Oh, here we go. Alton Towers entrance. I'm so happy that I'm going to fulfill a lifelong dream of having Alton Towers to myself. Alton Towers exit. I was so poorly. Okay, where's Cosmo gone? You just get around. Okay, Cosmo says goodbye. Thank you, everybody who guessed that he'd been to Charon. What a crazy place. It's the planet solar system's only double planetary system, because the moon is so big that it's actually classed as a double planet. That makes Pluto a planet. No! Ha! Pluto, no! It was a planet all along, and a double planet, no less. Who knew? Right. Magazine's out. Have you got it? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Robin edits it. If you want to step up in the Astro publishing world, volunteer to help out with our magazine. It needs you, and it also needs your contributions. And it smells jolly good too. Quick plug of the SPA bling. Let's see what we've got hiding in here tonight. What card is going to come out? We've got the Whirlpool, we've got those models that I couldn't make. They were really hard. You can have a flash of, wow, it's crazy 3D-ness. It's like, I'm very drunk. Can you see the Whirlpool Galaxy wiggling around? These beautiful cards are available in the SPA shop, along with Plug the Mug. I'm killing time now because I don't want to switch off the laptop. I don't want to have to pack up. I don't want to have to go back home. It's scary out there, and it's so lovely and warm with all of the popular astronomers here. Maybe one day in a couple of weeks, I'll actually be able to do this broadcast without multiple layers on from the spooky old laundrette. with the 70 meg internet. Fantastic guests and show tonight. It was brilliant. You will need to start earlier next time. Now there's a way of doing it. Thank you. Thank you for the great stream and the inspiring guests. They were super inspiring today, Linda. Thank you so much for your comment. Don't recognize your name, Linda, but please do come back 8 p.m. next week. I'll tell you who my guests are. Have a quick check on the phone in the diary where the guests live. We've got one guest so far. Andy Lawrence. Yes. Andy Lawrence. Yes. Now, I spoke to Andy the other day testing the stream. He is a very interesting man. What is he going to be talking about? I've got it on my list here. I can tell you. Going to be talking about oh, I've lost it. Where's he gone? Oh, he's going to be talking about, so he's Regius Professor at Edinburgh at the Royal Observatory. He's going to be talking about what he's cross about, satellite mega constellations, and his escapades with Brian May and the Zodiacal Lights. That's several for a bucket list, isn't it? Right, you lot, you are fantastic. I'm going to go away now. Linda is on the popular astronomy team. Oh, great, Linda. It's very nice to hear from you. Thank you so much. Thank you for tonight, Vernon says. And enjoy your new telescope, Vernon. Enjoy it. It's been a delight, everybody. Thanks to everybody who's helped me out behind the scenes. Paul and Robin, especially. Mwah. Oh, and you know what? You can have a kiss as well, because when was the last time you got a big smacker like this? Mwah. See you soon. Bye.